When you are using Facebook or Instagram for your social media, what are you supposed to post for the normal feed posts versus stories or any other? I'll right off the bat say I'm pretty bad with both of them. I tend to get really involved in the work and absolutely forget to tell people about it. It's one of the reasons why I'm always telling tiny business owners to get out there and talk to people and to be networking and meeting with people and seeing people in person, and then use social media as a way to remind them of what's going on instead of relying 100% on a online platform to be communicating what you're doing. The main reason is because, for me at least, not for everybody, I am a very people-loving, outgoing person, so the extroverts can relate to that. I, however, have a lot of the introvert tendencies, that needing quiet to recharge, that really getting into my work and getting into like the bubble of the work. So when I'm working, as I said in the beginning, and I'm in it, it means like I'm really involved in the work. I think nobody wants to hear about what's going on. I really have a hard time emailing because I feel like I'm bothering people, or announcing big things because I'm like, why would they care? It's not a self-esteem issue. It's really an introversion issue if you get into reading about the differences in introverts and extroverts. But the reality of that is that I struggle with social media constantly of what am I supposed to talk about? Nobody cares. When I had my jewelry business and now with my new candy business, there's a lot of cool stuff to show behind the scenes, and I forget to show it because I'm just in the middle of the work. So that brings me to, with social media, part of the idea behind having like that main feed and then the stories is to show the what's going on versus the behind the scenes, right? But sometimes when you're actually in the middle of the work and you forget to show, let's say, a video of doing behind the scenes, you start to say, well, I'm missing a lot of opportunity. So here's a few things that I want to say about that to maybe encourage you to take advantage of it. One, especially with Instagram, if you are using the stories, you can then take the recording, either video or still image, whatever you've created, and add them to those little highlight bubbles that can be on your profile page. This can be really helpful to help tell that story about what you're doing, right? To communicate with people. But if you're not putting these in your stories, you will not have access to them. So even though they're gone within 24 hours in the actual, at the top of the feed story section, you can access that forever. So it's just a really good way to organize all of the behind the scenes and what you do without it having to be part of your feed. Now, this can be incredibly helpful if you are a tiny business owner with your branding, because you can use this to tell your story, right? It gets that little peek out. But at the other side of it, people are not seeing all of it, so they may not know what's going on. I like to use stories in a way where I'm just taking really easy, like if I take a picture of something or take a little video and then I go upload it later. I'm not great at uploading it in the moment, but I'm getting better, and I work on trying to remember just to capture some of what's going on behind the scenes. Now, as far as what to put in the regular feed, that's where I put a lot of thought into it. I will maybe create a carousel with multiple images. This is especially relevant in the Yellow Table Goods Instagram of mine. In my other one, I hardly ever use it, to be really honest with you. But I use that to be more of the polished image. And that is the one where I can really control what my feed looks like, what the overall outline, of the, I want you to look at this and think of these things when you are looking at my brand on social media. The stories, like I said, are less of that curated. They're more spontaneous in the moment. And it's a great way for you to show behind the scenes so people get an idea of it. Now, again, with Instagram, it's wonderful to then be able to pull from all of that information and to sort of narrate the story of your business a little bit and highlight different things. I hope this clears up some, maybe motivates you a bit, but either way, get out there, take some photos, put them up as your stories. No pressure on that end. I'm Sierra Bailey with Doers, Shakers, Makers, and I'll be back next week to give you another business tip. And hey, if you're not following Yellow Table Goods on Instagram, go check it out.